The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful GWT family. My name is Anne-Marie Chantal. I am a diplomat with the fastest, largest designer fashion house in the world. I'm happy as usual to be here tonight. I have a lot to cover. Tonight, if you've seen on the email I sent, I actually was listening to this amazing training from Tom Hopkins that I've been sharing with you, some of his cell, how to how to help us to do more sales and increase our revenue. And through that, a lot of light bulb open, because a lot of top income earner actually has some skills or use some techniques. Sometimes they don't even know they're doing it. And that's how they got where they are. So tonight's training, first of all, I want to thank you for being on the call. Thank you for being here. So committed for your business and for the growth of the company. And tonight's call will be in regards of the minor reflections. So, I mean, I've heard so many people in MLM that are struggling to even make one sale, after even 6 months or 1 year. And after a while, I was trying to, I was trying, after a while, I was trying it, would bring anyone depressed or they wanted to quit. So I don't care how much you want it. If you don't know how to do it, it would get negative, right? And very frustrated. That's when you need to make some decision. You rather A, learn what to do and how to do it, or B, give it all up and go to work where there's income ceilings and none of the benefits we all know this company has, right? So here's what happened. We see all these amazing stars on GWT family that are making like 10, 20, 30, 50,000 a month, driving nice cars, going on vacation. So we know it's possible. And if we ask them what they all do different that we're not doing, they will all say the same thing. You need to believe, right? It's your mindset. Keep on talking. But what they don't realize in telling us is that they know how to close. And this is what I just learned through the Tom Hopkins training. And a little I didn't knew about the profession, about selling, and the skill of closing word by word. So would you like to know it? I'm sure you do, right? So I'll be glad to share with you, but you'll probably not believe it, and that's all right. I mean, you can go on fighting and see where you get, or you can make the decision to learn it in advance. So why shouldn't you learn then? Why should you learn it anyway? You can surpass any top earner in the entire industry if you educate yourself. So sorry, that's what I'm doing, learning it word by word. And there's over 60 closes here, and you're gonna hear them tonight. And from the moment I learn the words, you will see the change it will do. By knowing exactly what to say, it will make that difference. So here's the frustration, right? So I hope you have your pen and paper for tonight, and see where it brings us. So here's the A, learn how to do. You can give it all up, or you can find a job, right? That would be tough. So these are what I was saying. We all seen all these people at the top, so we know it's possible. So you can keep on fighting, or make the decision to learn in advance. Here's you at the top, right? So the minor closes. So yeah, again, grab your pen, because I believe that you will hear, you will see, and you will feel that you'll have a lot of your notes to learn. So isn't that exciting? Absolutely. People pay thousands of dollars to have access to this, and you're getting it here tonight for free. So I hope you really use it for yourself and your benefit. So here we are. So the minor close questions. So the first one is what's called the tie down. Now, the definition of a tie down is a question at the end of a statement that isolate the objection. So again, might want to take uh, notes of this because it must become a speech habit, and it must be done naturally. So, by the way, I can talk with one of you in like 15 minutes and determine how professional you are. And I'm looking for my words here. Yeah, so basically, like I can determine how professional you are because a professional and a top earner can make a positive statement without tying it down, can they? Right? So a tie down sound a lot like I just did, didn't I? That was one, wasn't it? You're catching on, aren't you? They are fun, aren't they? It has to be natural. Wouldn't you agree? Those are ideas of tie down. Do you see it? I would like you to realize that um, it's simple. So, isn't it? Doesn't it? Wasn't it? Couldn't it? Wouldn't it? Shouldn't it? Don't you agree? Can you? Want you? Haven't you? You haven't. Hasn't he? Hasn't she? Haven't they? Those are all tied down, aren't they? And you put them nicely at the end of your sentence, don't you? Hoping to get a minor yes. I've shared with you a few weeks ago that selling is nothing more than asking the right question to get minor yeses that lead you to the major decision, which is the major yes. Simple, isn't it? It would be like the final decision is the subtitle of all the minor yeses. Isn't that right? Now, you should role play this as well and practice. So I'm going to start. I'm going to pause. You at home, you're going to tie down my sentence. So I want you to do three things all at once. So compare this to a professional tennis player or a baseball player or anything. You know, like a professional tennis player must do more than one thing at once. You know, he must run, look at the ball, bring his arm up, hit the ball, all that at the right time. Now, a professional network marketer is doing so many things at once. He is delivering his presentation, thinking about the future benefits and objection, watching what he says in the past, overing himself for the future, which I'm pretty sure I have that here. So there you go. So again, I'm going to repeat it because I am not sure I wrote it down. Oops. Let me go back. Technology is something totally out of my area. There you go. So again, a professional network marketer is doing so many things all at once. He's delivering his presentation, he's thinking about future benefits and objection, he's watching what he says in the past, overing himself for the future. His mind is like a computer, isn't it? So now I'm going to start talking, and when I pause, you write down the tie down. Are you ready? So here we go. So the first, well, they're fun, aren't they? It just takes practice. doesn't it? Right? That was one, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm giving you the answer here, but you can write down some ideas, right? Like you can write down what the tie down is, and I will be going fast, so you might not have time to write it down, but I'm sure you're catching on, aren't you? They're coming out naturally now, yeah, more and more, aren't they? Quality is important today, isn't it? You would like to retire and enjoy the life without stress someday, wouldn't you? This really chosen some pretty, sorry, she's really chosen some pretty color here, hasn't she? This would add nicely to your investment portfolio, wouldn't it? Family safety and security is something we all are concerned about, aren't we? You're doing good, aren't you? You're probably agreeing with me here, but you need to take notes and practice, don't you? It's amazing how this one just felt that it slipped out of my mind, my language, isn't it? That was one. So it just takes practice, so, and it should take practice, shouldn't it? And then all of a sudden, it's just a speech habit, isn't it? This is what we call the regular tie down. So make a special note and highlight it. Try to wait for your potential uh, partner to give that positive response. See, if you tie it down without the positive response, you could tie it down with a negative, couldn't you? You might have a prospect, for an example, you would like to launch your mall and have access to the latest design in fashion, wouldn't you? And all of a sudden your prospect said, no, I don't really care about the latest design and I wouldn't want to have a store on top of my job. I only wanted to find something part-time online. Now you see how I just destroyed myself because I didn't ask them, I told them. And I didn't wait for that response. You want to wait for that positive response before you keep on going. So write it down. A pro close a prospect on positive stimulus. Okay, so for example, wouldn't most people, if you say quality in a product is important today, isn't it? When they say yes, that's a tie down, right? So that's the first step. Now the step two is the invert tie down. So the definition of the invert tie down is putting the tie down on the front of that sentence. It creates warmth. So here are some statements that would be great is that you tie it down from home before I give you the answer. So are you ready? They are fun, aren't they? Aren't they fun? That was one, wasn't it? Wasn't that fun? Or wasn't that one? You're catching on, aren't you? Aren't you catching on? Most people wish they had a home business, isn't it? Isn't it that most people wish they had a home business? It would be an advantage to have your own designer mall, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be your advantage to have your own mall? Right? Aren't you concerned with the education of your children? It's a little warmer that way, isn't it? Isn't it a little warmer that way? That was one, wasn't it? Wasn't that one? They're fun, aren't they? Aren't they fun? So get some practice. It's a lot of fun, and people will feel great when being asked questions like that. They will feel more with you. So the third one is the tie down tag on. So if your potential partner say a positive statement, now you can tie it down. So for example, if let's say this is, prospect here says, yes, quality is important. And then you say, isn't it? Right? Your prospect says, having monthly investment with my budget is something we are looking for. You say, didn't you? Right? It's almost like, I'm with you. I agree. You said, I tied down. As long as they say it and it's true, so when they say it, you tie down and you get complete minor agreement, don't you? So step number 4 is the alternate of choice. So let me ask you this. If your buyer can have 2 answers, yes or no, what do they usually pick? No. Weird, isn't it? It's much easier to say no than yes. That's why the alternative of choice is key here. So here's a definition. A question with 2 answers, either answer confirm that they're going ahead. So it could be a minor situation or even a major sequence. For example, we all know that appointment doing belly to belly, is key to help people launch their mall. So you would agree with me that having appointment set would be key here, wouldn't you? I mean, so having a coffee meeting would probably be more powerful than sending a link. So you wouldn't want to say, can I stop by? It's too easy to say no. You would give them 2 options. Let's say, Mr. Johns, I'll be in your area this afternoon. What would be more convenient, that I stop by at 2 o'clock, or would you prefer I wait until 3? So when he picks 3, you now have an appointment set, you see? All these alternate choices are beautiful. Another example would be something as you know, we're growing fast here in Alberta, and positioning yourself first would give you the benefits of every mall that launch after you. Would you prefer to fill the application form now, or do it? Would you prefer fill the application form or doing it online right now? Right? Or what package would be best for you today? The retailer for $169, and you can upgrade later, or a diamond for $3,099 and maximize your income potential right away. So it's 2 answers and both confirm that they're going ahead. That's the alternative choice question. Makes sense, right? So there's no can I stop by? Instead, you give them 2 options. The 5th one, this must be the most powerful of all the minor clauses, and it's named the porcupine. It's called the porcupine because I want to make sure you can visualize it. So let me give you a picture here. What would you do if I have a porcupine in my hand and I throw it to your lap? What would you do with it? You would probably throw it back at me, wouldn't you? So here is the definition of the porcupine. It's answer a question with a question to control and lead them to the next clause. So this one might need a bit more practice, but we can all do it. And they all need practice anyway. So let me illustrate this. In a conversation, the person that asks the last question is in control, isn't they? Aren't they? Isn't it? So, and I just did a tie down, didn't I? And yes, the tie down is key. It is a key here. It's like a question form, but watch this. Many of you have a situation where the prospect will ask you a question about the product or the company, and you answer and you say yes or no, and you have nothing. For example, if a prospect says to you, "Is the company open in Asia?" What would you say? "Yes, we are. Actually, I know someone in Asia. Let me connect you with them as well." And you go on and on and on, and now you got nothing. What the porcupine clause is what the porcupine clause do is ask question like, again, here's a prospect. Is the company open in Asia? You would answer saying, would it be important to you to be open in Asia? See, you don't know why your prospect is asking those questions. And just by answering them, you might lose them completely because they might want to be the first in Asia. And now they might think that everyone there is that is part of GWT. Yeah, like if they want to be the first one, they might think that Asia is taken now. But you don't know because you haven't asked. That's why the porcupine clause is asking what they want to know. Does that make sense? No, here's another example. Let's say they say, "Does your package does any of those VDM comes with inventory?" You could ask, "Are you looking for some inventory? Or would you like some inventory?" So now you know where they're at. "Oh, I hate having inventory." Yeah, well, that's great. You don't have to. Or, "Yeah, I want to have products." Well, if you want products, you want to make sure that you start as a silver minimum, right? Or, so you can lead them in a better way. You know, can can I only pay with credit card? Is that one of your concern, the way to invest? They might say, "Not really, but it might be for the people I know in other countries." Now you know that it's a problem for them and they're thinking of people to introduce to GWT too, right? Last example here. Let's say they say, "I can start as a silver and upgrade later." Or, "Can I start as a silver and upgrade later?" So you would say, instead of saying yes, you would say, "Would that make it easy for you? Or would that be what you would like?" See, if they say yes, they now own it. They're ready, don't they? When you see how warmly a professional moves to a final close, you will be so delighted, aren't you? It will feel so great. Now, the next technique that most professionals start the presentation with, this one actually, is called the involvement question. Some of you might already be using this question and you don't even know you are. It might be natural, and if you now say, "That's what I've been doing," and structure more questions this way, you are creating new material. So here's the definition. It's a question the buyer must ask themselves after they own the products or their VDM, right? Isn't that simple? It's a question that they must ask themselves after they launch them all. You know what's amazing? If they answer the question before they own it, it's confirming that they are going to buy it. So here's an example. Let's say Mr. Jones. So, Mr. Jones, what would you like to do once you launch your VDM? Would you tell all your friends about it or do something online, some online marketing? Those are two different questions, right? Now, I've also put an alternative choice, but it's also an involvement question because he had to ask himself the question. After he owns his VDM, what I'm trying to do here is realize what he wants to do so I can help him on that direction. Plus, he can now see himself doing it as well. you have a challenge, and I'm trying my best here to teach you the technique. I can do it for you. When I first heard about this, I realized that I needed to write it down myself, to, in my own ways, learn it and practice it. And that's what a professional does, doesn't he? That's the challenge you have. I hope you feel my intention here to help you have all the best tools for you and your business. So the last thing I'd like you to write down is this statement. Creation begins with imitations. When we say duplicate, make it simple. Go practice those tied down questions. All those minor reflection will really help you to create that like and trust, to have all those minor yes that will lead. I'm not saying that they're all gonna launch them all, but we know that, right? Aren't we? Don't we? I mean, this is not about talking to every single people and expecting every single people to launch them all. Some people don't want it, and you don't want to push them. Some people need it. And if you're not coming as a professional with those techniques, or with any techniques, whatever works for you, but if it's not working, stop struggling and pulling your hair up like we were earlier, right? Stop pulling your hair up and start practicing so you can be one of those top earner at the night of the stars with a free vacation, holding those big paycheck and recognition. Because only you deserve it. And I truly believe that. So this is what I have tonight. I hope you got value of it. I had a pleasant time sharing these knowledge, and I'm practicing it, and I'm sure you've seen it. And if you haven't, it's okay. You know, but I go out there and I practice. Sometimes I do it through Facebook. Sometimes I do it in person. I mean, I've been doing it with my kid, and that was been the best thing with Cameron, because at least I can, not at least, it's more, I can see the difference. I can see how we're more aligned, we're more agreeing to each other, versus me trying to tell him what to do, when to do it. You know, hey, the dishwasher is full. Should you do it? No, it's, hey, the dishwasher is full. You know, would it make it easier if you do it right away so we can play later? Right? Like, wouldn't that be better? Yeah, of course it would be. Like, it's asking the question that makes it more in tune with the people you're around. So this is what I had tonight. I hope you enjoy and you had a lot of values from that. My name is Anne-Marie Chantal. I am diplomat with the fastest growing designer fashion house. I'm going to the top, and I'm hoping that you're joining me so we can go to the top together. If you have any questions, just write them down and I will be there. I do have Angela. Tom, so Angela has been asking, hi Anne-Marie, what is your resources? Tom who? So I've been training about how to create more sales and increase your revenue through Tom Hopkins. I have some material that I have from him, his full seminar. So if you want, send me a private message, and I'll share more with you what it is. You can, I can share you some stuff with you. You're welcome. So Tim here, thanks for sharing this training. Practice a lot. One week. Yes, practice is everything. Tim, it was great to see you again this weekend. And the more you practice, the better you get. You just have to pay attention to what you say and how you say it. It's the biggest skill. You know, when I was sharing about the tennis player and all these things that they have to do prior to go and hit that ball, it's the same thing for us. We have to watch every single moment, you know, our delivery and our thinking and benefits and objection and the past and the future and everything for the benefit of the person in front of us. So anyway, thank you very much for all your comments. I will see you soon. Again, a quick reminder, Renee Liao is coming June 12th and 13, we have the place booked at the Clarion Hotel, which is on 16 and Avenue Northeast. It used to be a Radisson, now it's a Clarion, and 19th Street Northeast. And the boot camp at Sandra Dance Row. I'm still waiting for the flyer. Unfortunately, I think I miscommunicate with the company saying, yes, please do the flyer, but I think that I said, yes, I'll do the flyer, which I have no clue how to do. So, but as long as you know and you start inviting people, there, or start inviting people to meet with me prior to that event, even better, so we can have a full room. So June 12th at 7 o'clock we start. So this time it's 7 we start, so be there half hour early, please, and so we don't have to mingle too long and we can really get going. And then training 10 to 5 on Saturday, June 13. Have an amazing night, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.